We are trying to find the total vertical distance the object has traveled when the object reaches the ground, given this function where h of t is representing the height and t is going to be representing the time with any of these equations like this. So we need to figure out how high this object reaches when it's thrown. Now there's two ways to do this. One is by using calculus, where you can find the derivative of the function and set the derivative equal to 0 and then solve for t. The second way, using algebra, is by using the maximum or minimum formula, where you have x equals negative b over 2a. Now since b is equal to 18, I'm going to have negative 18 over 2a, and a is negative 3, so 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. So x is going to be 3, and this is my maximum point. So it is helpful to plot out the drawing of what we're looking at here. So draw the parabola, and we have the maximum height, but something to keep in mind is we don't really know where it's starting. We know where it's finishing. It's finishing at the ground, but it's starting some other location. So to find that location where it's starting, we know that t is representing time. We can't have a negative time, right? It's starting at 0. Time starts at 0. So if we have t equal to 0, we try to find the height given that t is 0, we can find that height by plugging 0 back into my original equation in for t. So instead of h of t, I'm going to get h of 0 equals negative 3 times 0 squared, which is going to be 0. And we have plus 18 times 0, which is going to be 0, plus 5. So h of 0 is going to be 5. So if I draw this, when t is 0, h is going to be 5, so I'm starting actually up higher, and then t is going to be 3 right at the vertex of this parabola. So to find the total distance traveled, we know that a parabola is symmetric, and we can figure out the height from when t equals 3, the peak, all the way down to the ground. If we double that, and then subtract out where we started from, then we can have our final answer. So we need to find the total height from the peak down to the ground. So using the formula that's given to us, we're going to plug a 3 in for t, so h of 3 is going to be negative 3 times 3 squared plus 18 times 3 plus 5. So when I solve this, I'm going to get h of 3 equals 32. So 1/2 of my parabola is going to have traveled 32, and the other half would be another 32, which is going to be 64. So I have 32 plus 32, but then I need to subtract out that 5 that I've started with. So I started at 5, so I need to subtract out 5 to account for that. So when I add all that together, I'm going to get 59, and that's going to be the total distance that the object has traveled.